Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Friday, December the 10th, 2021. Today's show, I break down the game this Sunday as the Gamecocks travel to Rock Hill, South Carolina to take on the Florida State Seminoles in the No Room for Racism Classic at the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. Guys, I'll break down the game in its entirety. First things first, we'll break down the Seminoles, also talk top storylines, FSU players to watch for, keys to the game, and I will lock in my prediction for another big non-conference matchup for Frank Martin's squad. We got a packed show, guys, here on a Friday, and of course, it's all brought to you by our friends, as always, over at Upstate Movers Group. Guys, for all your moving needs this holiday season, as well as going into the new year, be sure to contact our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. You can find them on social media at Upstate Movers Group. Of course, if you have any other questions, go to their website, upstatemoversgroup.com. That's upstatemoversgroup.com. Be sure to check them out and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Let's get it. Friday to have a Friday, folks. TGIF, hope you're all doing well. I'm Chris Phillips, host of the Spurs Up Show. As always, appreciate you all tuning in. We have got a packed show as we're talking Gamecocks basketball on the hardwood as Frank Martin's squad takes on the Florida State Seminoles. But again, folks, hope you are all doing well, and I hope this show does find you, and no matter where you are, what you're doing, whether on the commute, you're in the office, you're on the job, you got the day off, maybe you're finishing up with exams. I hope exam week went very well for you all out there, and I hope that you aced all of your exams for yours truly. I would love to hear some positive news in regards to the exams and the schoolwork and all that good stuff. But again, either way, appreciate you all tuning in, man. Want to say also thank you all so much for another successful week in regards to content, the business. You know, we're rock and rolling. We're getting close to the 2022 calendar year. And really, you know, of course, over the next few weeks, I will sit down and we will reflect on 2021 and the year that was and the successes and the growth of the business. And then, of course, I'll write down my goals and look ahead for 2022. But, you know, it's just really special because you guys continue to tune in, continue to show up day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month. You guys continue to tune in and you don't get tired of me talking to you. And it's a really cool thing, man. It's a really cool thing because I know there's some of you that tune in each and every single day. I know a lot of you were sending me like your Spotify Wrapped, and the Spurs Up Show was your top listened to podcast. And I saw some of you had listened to like over 100 episodes and hours and hours and hours of content. So again, guys, I just can't say thank you enough, man. It's absolutely incredible. And 2021 has been nothing short of a blessing. And I'll be really excited the last week of this year and going into the first week of 2022 to reflect on our successes and share some big plans we have for you guys for the upcoming year. So again, going to be a lot of fun. But again, today we are talking Gamecocks basketball, South Carolina, Florida State, as the Gamecocks travel to Rock Hill, South Carolina to take on FSU in the No Room for Racism Classic. Again, guys, in case you're wondering, why the heck is this game in Rock Hill? That's why. Again, it's a big tournament up there at the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. Noon tip-off on ESPN2 for those who can't make it. The series history, believe it or not, guys, the Gamecocks and Seminoles have actually played once, and USC won that game back in 2006. Carolina beat Florida State 69-68. Again, this year's squad, FSU is 5-3, 0-1 in conference. It's crazy how early, by the way, the ACC begins conference play because, of course, we don't have a conference game until like the first week of January. They're already playing conference games, kind of where you take a look at who FSU's played, who they've beaten, who they have lost to. You look, they won their season opener against Mississippi College in an exhibition, actually beat Florida College in another exhibition. Then their regular season began beating Penn. They lost to Florida, of course, their arch rival, by 16 points, beat Tulane, Loyola Marymount, beat Missouri, by the way, 81-58 in a game on November the 22nd, in Jacksonville. Beat Boston in overtime, 81-80. Then got crushed by Purdue, who is the number 1 ranked team in the country, by the way. Got crushed by Purdue in the Big Ten ACC Challenge, 93-65. Lost to Syracuse. That was their one conference game, 63-60. Now, of course, they take on the Gamecocks. Their head coach is an absolute legend, Leonard Hamilton. Frank Martin, obviously very complimentary of him the other day when the two spoke before this game on Sunday. And FSU scoring 72.4 points per game and giving up just 66.8 points per game. So again, a great challenge for the Gamecocks, and we'll see, can they continue to build on that momentum that they started to build in the victory over Georgia. And that, guys, that's where I'm really going to start with my top storylines, just returning after a long hiatus. I mean, obviously, this is a Gamecocks basketball team that has not played in a week, of course, because of exams. South Carolina did not play. Is there any bit of or signs of sloppiness or rust or starting out cold or starting out slow? You know, again, I think in this game, it's really, really important to get going early, to go off to a fast start and build confidence early, especially. This team has been so hot and cold at times. And, you know, we've seen when it gets cold, it gets really, really, really cold for the Gamecocks and really bad. So again, how does this team look returning after what feels like, at least in my personal opinion, a long hiatus for this basketball team, guys? Another big storyline for me, and a dude that I talked about a lot after the win over Georgetown, and somebody who I think has been even better than I expected, a veteran guy, of course, and one of the lone returners, but Wildens Levesque, can he stay hot for you down low? A dude that, again, has turned into nicely, quietly one of your best pieces, I'd say, on your team, and certainly gives you that presence, that big body presence down low. Can Wildens Levesque keep going for you? Because, again, the three-point shot, and I know I've said this team lives and dies by it, and, you know, is it going to be there? Is it not? Can you depend on it game after game after game? You need a guy like Wildens Levesque on the inside to take some pressure off those three-point shooters. Can he stay hot? Can he continue to build on his stellar play and give you another solid outing on Sunday? Guys, again, another big storyline. I talked about the coaches. Frank Martin against Leonard Hamilton. Really, really good matchup. I think, guys, two of the best coaches in all of college basketball. And, of course, we all know about our guy, Frank, but Leonard Hamilton, one of the best as well. Going to be fun to watch two of the best duke at it in sort of this chess match, if you will. Again, both guys, of course, Leonard Hamilton, a Hall of Famer. I think Frank Martin's probably well on his way. Going to be really, really cool to see those two battle out and go after it. The chess match that is put on by these two gentlemen going to be a lot of fun to watch. Another big storyline, guys. I would call this, I don't know about you guys, I would call this the biggest test to date for the Gamecocks early in this 2021-2022 basketball season. Again, is Florida State a great team? Not necessarily. Again, we talked about the losses they already had to Florida and Missouri and all that, but, you know, I think this game is going to help us determine a lot. Where do the Gamecocks stand? You know, where do they stand in regards to what type of team this is going to be? You know, if you can go out there, you know, we talked about this 3-game stretch of the non-conference games with Georgetown, Florida State, and Clemson. And I said, if you can go 2-1 or better, you succeeded in that 3-game stretch. Well, you have your opportunity to go 2-0 in those 2 games with Clemson upcoming. And again, I think this is the biggest test yet. I think this is going to be a great measuring stick type of game. Just to figure out where you stack up and what type of team you might have this year. Guys, another big storyline for me, Keyshawn Bryant. And, of course, we've seen him come back and play some big minutes for South Carolina, but not in the starting lineup yet. Does Keyshawn's role become more increased in this game? Again, didn't hear much from him in the win over Georgetown. Obviously had a really hot game, a hot start against Ryder when he first came back from his suspension. But Keyshawn's just going to be a guy, guys. If you're going to win a game like this, if you're going to win big games this season, Keyshawn Bryant needs to be playing his best basketball. Just no questions asked. He's got to play his best basketball. He's got to be a big-time contributor for you. And again, I think as he plays more minutes and comes off of that suspension, if you will, his role is going to increase. Is this the game where we'll see that happen? Again, does he crack the starting lineup? Does he get more minutes than he's been averaging? Going to be really interesting to see how Frank Martin handles that. And guys, finally, my one of my top storylines for this one and my final storyline is just this team sustaining momentum. Again, you've got momentum. You beat Georgetown. You had a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break, if you will. Can this team sustain it? Can this team build off any of the momentum that it gained in that win over Georgetown? Obviously, we all know what happened in Coastal Carolina and how detrimental of a loss that was and how sick to our stomachs we were watching that. And I feel like you erased a lot of the bad mojo from that game when you really beat down the Georgetown Hoyas. I want to see some consistency. And I think that's the thing that Gamecock fans, I think that's something we all crave for, is just this team to find some consistency, and Gamecocks basketball as a whole to find consistency. Again, you've got some momentum right now. You've got some positive feelings in your corner. Can this team sustain that, hold on to that, and translate that into a big win over FSU on Sunday? Guys, let's dive into FSU players to watch for. Some of the best Seminoles on this team. Guard Caleb Mills is where you got to start, leading the team in points, 12.6 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game. You also look at the big man, Malik Osborne, 11.4 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, which leads the Seminoles. Also, guys, he's shooting 48% from three-point range. So again, Osborne, a guy that can really do it all for FSU. And then finally, guard Anthony Polite, 8.4 points per game and 5.8 rebounds per game. So again, definitely some talent on this FSU squad, guys. Like I said, I wouldn't say they're the cream of the crop when it comes to the ACC, but they're a very quality ACC opponent. No questions asked. Let's move into our keys to the game, guys. What does South Carolina have to do to make it back-to-back wins and score a big non-conference win in the No Room for Racism Classic against FSU? I talked about it a little bit earlier. The first thing, get going early. Again, you're coming off a hiatus, a break. You haven't played in a week. The last thing we all need to see is this team come out slow, sluggish, not a lot of energy, sloppy. Get going early, make some shots, build some confidence, play with momentum. I mean, it should technically be a home game for South Carolina. I know it's in Rock Hill, but we're in the state of South Carolina, and FSU's coming all the way up from Tallahassee. So again, build some momentum early, get your crowd involved, get your crowd into it, and again, get going early. Ride that momentum. Guys, my second key to the game, I talked about Osborne, what he shoots from outside. FSU's a pretty solid three-point shooting team. The Gamecocks will not win a game this year when they lose the perimeter outside. Win the perimeter. Make your three-point shots. Get our guy Stevie going. Shooters shoot, right? Well, shooters have to make shots as well and build confidence. So, again, we talked Wilders Levac, how important he is, but it's no doubt the bread and butter of this basketball team is the three-point shot. Winning the perimeter. Winning the perimeter will go a long way in this game in determining the outcome. And my final key, guys, is this. In a game like this, I expect there to be physicality, no questions asked. I think there will be a lot of physicality in this one, which means a lot of fouls. Attack the charity stripe. Make your free throws, man. Just make your freaking free throws, because I think this is going to be a very back and forth game, very close game. You cannot afford to be porous at the free throw line. So again, guys, my three keys to the game: get going early, win the perimeter, and attack the charity stripe, which leads me into, guys, my prediction for the game on Sunday. Gamecocks, of course, taking on FSU in the No Room for Racism Classic. Is it Jekyll or is it Hyde? What to expect from this Gamecocks basketball team? A team that has been, I feel, very inconsistent, and you really just don't know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? You don't know what you are going to get in regards to, are you going to be hot, going to be cold? And, while, again, I don't think FSU is a cream of the crop basketball team in the ACC, certainly, they do have talent. I mean, you look at FSU the last couple of years, going to the tournament, making deep runs in the tournament, if you will. And Leonard Hamilton, like I said, guys, one of the best college basketball coaches in the game. I think South Carolina comes out and does attack early. I think they'll get going. I think this is a very competitive back and forth game. However, I've got to side with the Seminoles in this one, guys. I just cannot trust Frank Martin's squad right now for whatever reason. I'm having trust issues. I'm having a little bit of trust issues in regards to Gamecocks basketball and trusting to go out there and put back-to-back good performances together. I think this team has shown, unfortunately, I think the sloppiness and some of the mental mistakes and the mental errors we've seen are just part of this basketball team and who they are right now. And unfortunately, I think that'll rear its ugly head. And I think in a really close game, I think FSU steals one from South Carolina and gets the victory. I got the Seminoles winning this game. Give me FSU 72, South Carolina 66. So again, I think it's a very back and forth game. Would not surprise me at all if the Gamecocks found a way to get the victory. I'll be very curious, by the way, to see what the Vegas line is on this one when the lines drop on Sunday morning. I'll be very curious because, again, I think this is a very evenly matched game. You go to ESPN and their win indicator, whatever it's called, has it in 60-40 favor to FSU, but I mean, not a lot. So again, I think this is a close game, very back and forth, very competitive. Will the three-point shot be there for South Carolina? Will they be able to depend on it? Will Wilders Levac show up yet again? Will Keyshawn Bryant, will he put on a good game for you again? I think there's a lot of question marks around South Carolina, and while FSU's not great, I think they desperately need this win, sitting at 5-3, and I think they'll get it again. Give me the Seminoles beating the Gamecocks. Final score: FSU 72, USC 66. So again, guys, that's going to do it all for me. Appreciate you all tuning in. Also, I do want to highlight the women taking on Maryland Sunday at 3:00 at CLA. If you cannot make it to Rock Hill, be sure you go out to CLA at 3:00. Again, we got the men's game at noon, women's at 3. Great day to have a day. Great weekend to watch some basketball. Going to be a really good time. And let's hope for 2 W's on Sunday afternoon. But again, guys, hey, appreciate you all tuning in, folks. Again, thank you all so much for Love and Sport. Another successful week in the books. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. And I'll leave you with this: Go Cox, beat Florida State. And we'll talk to you on Monday.